Welcome to News9 Mediaverse, and you are watching To The Point with me, Kartikeya Sharma, and my colleague Brijesh Pandey. Parliament, Manipur, New Delhi, and many other associated places, they have not been able to come together and create an environment in which dialogue has taken place. There is no dialogue in Imphal. There is no dialogue in Parliament. There is no dialogue with the MPs. Only resolution is that some action has been taken. Only resolution is that after so many days, so many weeks, suddenly the arrests have taken. You have a midnight press conference or sort of a bite, and you have a fight between my state versus your state while Manipur burns. Chura Chandpur, a Kuki-dominated area, witnessed a huge protest A lot of Kuki leaders came. They spoke on the issue. There was an outrage. Let us play some bites of people from ground zero, the Vox Pops.
Committee on Tribal Unity organizing a sit-in protest today at Lake Cop area to show our anger and dissatisfaction against the outrages of molestation and gang rape of Kukijo women. And also, we are very much unrest in such a horrible and unwanted activities done by the Meitei mobs. So, we appeal the government to book the culprit within 14 hours unless the Kotu will compare to launch a very strong series of agitation in the days to come. And lastly, Kotu appeal once again the central government to expedite the political talks of UPF and KNO to bring immediate solutions of separate administration for the Kukizo tribals.
Can a normal people do these things? Meitei mobs are parading a Kukizo woman and a daughter naked in public and raped publicly. Even cats, dogs, animals never committed this kind of filthy act. What a shame! Meitei totally lost their human nature. What kind of act is this? Let the whole world know what they have done. We are so sad, and we are so much in grief, hearing our sister, our mother, being treated like this in a very inhuman way. This is not human. This is not human nature. And this is not even how human being treat another human. So we want justice. We want the government to catch the culprit, the rapists, and do necessary action. This is us. Consoling them, fighting for them will never end. And we are here in tears, weeping for them. We are so sad. We plead to the government to do something, to look into this matter as soon as possible. This cannot be denied any longer.
Right now I'm joined by, in my studio, with my input editor Brijesh. Brijesh, 4 arrests after something goes viral. Isn't this strange? And no arrest when nothing is viral.
Absolutely. I think, it puts the police more in dock than anybody else right now. Because, this FIR was something which was filed on 18th of May. And, from 18th of May, and the police was aware of the incident right from day one because, the so-called snatching of those family from the police happened on 3rd of May or 4th of May. So from 4th of May till 18th of July or 19th of July, the police, the administration chose to do nothing. And the second there is a heat, the second the video goes viral, the second there is a widespread condemnation, the police acts with alacrity, which puts the bigger question in play. If the police was this alert, shouldn't have police arrested all these perpetrators then and there, which would have sent a very strong message that that come what may, whether you are Kuki or a Maiti, the police is only side with law. And if the police is doing this, then can you really blame one ethnicity if they don't display any trust in the police force? So I think a big investigation should be launched. It is commendable that these 4 people have been arrested, but a big investigation should be launched, Kartike, which should determine who all were aware of the incident and why no action has been taken till now, and strict action should be taken against them. Only then the belief in the rule of law, the belief in force of law will be there in the eyes of people at large. Otherwise, this is just like if you have connection, if you have jack, then you can get your work done from police, or if you can bring enough heat on them, only then they will react. I mean, I completely fail to understand why the police, which can arrest 4 of these perpetrators within 24 hours of that video going viral, chose not to do anything from 4th of May till 18th of July, anything. And which speaks volumes about the kind of bias that was practiced. And until unless I think those people are either dismissed from service or strict action is taken against them, I don't think that there will be a message which will go that the government means business.
I'm joined by Dr. Guite. I'm also joined by Mr. Suhas Chakma and Anshuman Chaudhary. A very warm welcome to all of you. First to Dr. Guite, the floor is yours. Do you agree with Brijesh when he says that strong action needs to be taken? People who were charged with the investigation, those who are investigated need to be taken to task for the delay and the lackadaisical attitude they demonstrated.
Criminal delay, Karthik.
Criminal delay is the word. Dr. Guite.
Completely agree. I completely agree with Brijesh. And I would say, like, the bites you play out of the chief minister, I feel these are foul-mouthed, misanthropic, misogynist that can be, which, I mean, at large, I see that the chief minister, the law and order situation. So these are the culprits. They are all hired. They are trained. They are given free hand to conduct all this and to carry out this task. And what is the task? The task is to create a terror among the Kuki-Zo people, to such a terror that they run away from the land which they are occupying. It's all a fight for the land. They just want more and more land. They want land more into the hill areas. And for that purpose, they term the Kuki-Zo as an illegal immigrants, as a narcotic, traders and whatnot. You all are aware about it. But if that is the question, the main issue, why is such a magnitude of violence and then ethnic cleansing kind of an activities being carried out, why can't this be talked out in a table or in a dialogue if it's at all an issue of the land? And this has been, like, many of the scholars and academicians have also spoken about it from initial time when this violence broke out since 3rd May, the issue of being scheduled tribe status, and then the issue of being land, identity, all these things, and then the differences in historical narratives. So my concerns, I keep asking myself, why is this so much of violence against women, children, and men has to be carried out, and that too against a particular community, the Kuki-Zo community? What is their fault? I keep thinking about these 2 women. This is just, as I said yesterday, this is just a tips of the iceberg. There are many other sexual violence which has been, and assaulted, which has been carried out during this entire period of 2.5 months. And, we see women playing a very important role in this, the whole violence which has unfolded. And we see on the other hand women as a victim also, and we see on the other hand women who are telling their sons to rape the woman from the Kuki-Zo community. So, and then this video which surfaced created so much of an uproar, even at the national level, international level. But what about that video which have also been on the surface, where a group of women telling their sons to rape 2 particular Kuki-Zo women? Nobody's has spoken about that. and and the question is, why is so much an uproar? I know it has shake our conscience of everyone. It's one of us. I think every man should hang their head in shame that at this 21st century uh, we are, I mean, uh, conducting, or I would say behaving in such a manner. Like that lady in the protest, she herself said that we don't treat animals also like that, the way they have treated that two women. So it's strongly condemned by everyone. And also, I mean, at the parliament and at the legislation, the legislators, everyone, even women rights uh, activists, everyone has come out. Today there are series of protests which are lining up, and been getting invitation to
Okay.
speak on that. And then, so I would say that, why, my question is, why is this video which has surfaced, why did it took us so long as a civil society to wake up to this violence? uh, is not the other violence which
Okay.
has been continuing happening each and every day of these 75 days is not. And then Brijesh, we have been discussing even in this platform as a journalist, as an academician, as a scholars, but talking and thinking about is very good, but action speaks more uh, louder. So the prime minister has said condemnation about it. It's totally acceptable. But I think now we have to look to the government of India for that permanent and long lasting solution. No more talking. Action has to come now. So this is
Okay, no more
I
talking,
would say
action
my
has to come
opening
now.
statement.
Okay, no more talking, action has to come now. The government has shown some action, but I think its action is very, very delayed. Anshuman, the sort of the speed at which action has been taken shows that unless and until there is public pressure or outrage in this country, nothing seems to work. Till it was buried deep inside, everything was okie dokie.
Absolutely.
You had only clips coming out of Manipur, tweets. And when there is a public outrage, you find the man in the middle speaking to the press every fourth hour. I mean to say that जितना बीरेन सिंह जी ने पिछले 24 घंटे में बोला होगा, मुझे उतना याद नहीं पिछले 7 दिनों
70 दिन में
में
बोला होगा।
इस तरीके से बात की होगी। अंशुमन।
Yes, in fact, it looks like he's doing this to compensate for the gross lack of action that his administration has shown over the last 3 months, more than 2 months rather. What is in fact stunning is, as we have seen the clips play over and over again yesterday, what the chief minister said, that hundreds of such cases have taken place. He's admitted it himself. It's the clearest admission so far from the chief minister himself of not just the unending violence, the spiraling violence in his state, but the abject failure of his administration to prevent that collapse of law and order and prevent that violence. Even in the press conference clip that you were playing just now, he says that the violence has been going on since a long time. So there are so many incidents; it's difficult to handle that. But that's not an excuse. A state administration which has such extensive resources, investigative resources and prosecutorial resources at its disposal, should not need social media to jump into action, right? It needs to unilaterally deploy those assets that it has to find to go after these cases, to find the culprits and prosecute them and take them to court, right? So we should not be needing random clips like clips on social media to push the administration to an action. What is even more surprising is that, which has already been discussed, is that we already know that the FIR was filed on the 18th of May, then it was re-registered due to jurisdictional issues on the 21st of June. And it was in fact reported by the print sometime in July, I think 12th or 11th July, right? This particular case of which the video we are seeing now was already reported by the print. And I was just reading that report. There is a statement quoted in that print report by a senior police officer, statement given by a senior police officer from the Manipur police, in which they say that there are allegations of rape. I quote, there are allegations of rape from both communities, Meiteis and Cookies, but no case has been registered so far. The consent of the victim is required and the police cannot take suo motu action. Now, the police here is saying that no case has been registered so far. This is like a blanket excuse that the police is giving. And now, this time, it's proved that no, that's also not the case. Cases were registered. FIRs were registered. Specific, not just zero FIRs. FIRs were registered within the jurisdictional limits of where the crimes happened. Despite the specific action, and once the FIR is registered, it's no more suo moto action. You have to take action pursuant to the FIR. So what we have seen is an abject failure of the criminal justice system, of the law and order system, to prevent sexual violence, which clearly has happened at a mass scale by the chief minister's own admission.